Well, guys, the review embargo for The Order 1886 has been up as of the time of this recording for 3 hours and 44 minutes. And in that time, it has garnered an impressively lackluster debut. Um, that being said, the Metacritic score shouldn't worry you in the sense that Metacritic really gets its numbers from user reviews. That's really what Metacritic should be regarded as. Also, you have to bear in mind that a large portion of the major game review outlets out there have abandoned the scoring system altogether. Okay, so I want to basically, what I'm saying is this: the reviews that are out there right now for this game should concern you enough that if you're on the fence about buying the game, you probably shouldn't spend your money right away. That's why I'm not. I was concerned from day one that this game was going to be, as I've said in the past, a Gears of War ish game with a different thing going for it. I knew that aside from its impressive appearance, its impressive presentation, it probably wasn't going to be anything horribly special. And there's nothing wrong with that. I want to play this game, and I'm probably going to enjoy the hell out of this game when I play it. But I know it's going to be a contained experience, something that doesn't have any real replay value, and something that ultimately isn't going to make my top 10 list of any kind, even if it was within a single month. It's just not that kind of game. I don't think it was ever designed to be. I think this game from the ground up was designed to show off what the PS4 could do in an action game, and give us something artistically interesting that was also a decent game. Decent. Not, holy shit, this is changing gaming forever. Everyone wants to say that their game's going to change gaming forever. Well, technically it will, just by virtue of the fact that the game landscape existed without you before. And now your game is there. The landscape has changed. One could argue that if you drop a grain of kitty litter on a beach in California, that you have changed that beach forever. That is technically true. Now, am I really comparing the Order 1886 to a piece of kitty litter? No, I'm not. I haven't played the game. I don't know what the game in reality um, is. I'm only going off of what I've read, what I've seen. I watched about 2 minutes of the Kind of Funny Games stream from this morning. It's live right now as of this recording. It looks good. It looks good. Not mind-blowing, not game-changing, no pun intended. Just good. And there's nothing wrong with looking good. But some of these reviews are being, in my opinion, rather harsh in the way they describe it. It smacks of, oh my god, it's going to be amazing, 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 it's going to be amazing. Oh, it's just good. And instead of just saying, it's just good, the emotional fallout from the game not being as good as you expected it to be, in turn becomes this negative kind of slant. Because, like one review I posted on Twitter stated that the game was like this plodding, depressing mess. Another review stated that it was the most beautiful thing and they were having a blast with it. So I think, as with any opinion, you have to take it with a grain of salt. And I would also venture to say that as a community, as a culture, right, we have to learn to take multiple sources into account, understand that opinions are subjective at best, okay, and make our own decisions based upon what's out there. I'm not doing this to troll. I'm saying these things today because there are many of you that are excited for this game. And I think you should be, in that it looks very well done for what it is. But I don't want to see people overhyped for something and then be disappointed unnecessarily. All right. Nothing I have seen about the Order in any way communicates to me that it is somehow an inferior game. Quite the opposite. By all accounts that I can tell, it's visually appealing, the sound design is amazing, the gameplay is consistent, if not wholly groundbreaking or ridiculously satisfying. It does the job. Not one single mention of a glitch, not one single mention of a bug, nothing. None of the stupid fucking shit we've been seeing with games for the last 2 years, 3 years, forever. The game promised and delivered what it promised. It didn't promise hype. It promised, hey, this is going to look really, really good. It's going to have solid gameplay. Everything's going to be relatively seamless. Okay? And from what I can see, that appears to be true. The question you have to ask yourself and answer honestly is that experience worth $60 of my money in US on the first day? For me personally, the answer is an emphatic no. I will wait. If I am craving a single player enclosed experience on the PS4, I will get the new Wolfenstein from last year because it's very inexpensive now, and I will do the same thing with the Order. Why that is that I have gotten to a point where I do not, for the most part anyway, I don't have as much fun playing with myself, just by myself in games as I used to. I much prefer the company of others, even if it's just in a party chat while I'm playing. But I find that the single player experiences where there's no one else involved, for some reason, my brain wants to be left alone when I do those things. And it's a limitation of how I like to enjoy games. It's something I'm honestly working on, because I can't socially afford to block myself into a room and shut myself off from my friends to play games for 8 to 12 hours at a time. I don't like doing it. I'd rather be accessible and so forth, and I think the Order's gonna be one of those games that fall into the same, not trap, but category. So for me, this is more a decision about the type of game that it is, and less about the quality of the game itself. I will tell you without a shadow of a doubt, if I were craving a single-player, relatively linear experience, by linear I mean it has a beginning, middle, and end. There's very little replay value inherent in the game. It's an experience. There's a good chance I would get this game, but I'm not in the mood for that sort of thing. People say, well, you just don't like that kind of game, so you're being hard on it. Well, guess what? Deus Ex Human Revolution was my #1 game of the last generation. No multiplayer, and in the original version that I touted so highly, no new game plus. Played through that game like 6 times. So that ain't it. So this is a non-review of the Order 1886. And again, for your viewing pleasure, as of, barely, not quite 4 hours in, IGN gives it a 6.5 out of 10, GameSpot a 5 out of 10, Metacritic 3.5 out of 5. So it's, mediocre. And that's fine. What you're going to see is that other sites are going to treat it arguably more fairly, if for no other reason than they're avoiding the number trap. Like Kotaku, the review that I posted, no number score on it. And it's one guy's opinion. That's the thing that people tend to fucking forget about reviews. They're saying this site gave it this. Well, that just means they assigned it to a guy that didn't like that or did like that or whatever, and that's fine. So ultimately, if you've pre-ordered the game and you're excited for it, there's a good chance you're going to like it. And I do not wish to take that away from you. My message is more for the guy or gal who is on the fence about this game. My advice is to wait. See what your peers have to say. See what the community at large has to say. Because DualShockers is having a field day and just orgasming over this game. And you read what they're saying about it, and it makes sense to me. So somewhere between, oh my god, I came all over the walls, and this game depressed me, is probably where the truth about the Order 1886 lies. And at the risk of repeating myself, I think the game is just fine, and I am just fine with not buying it tomorrow. Thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing, and as always, keep on grinding. Cheers.